Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com with Finster, of course, doing her thing. She loves climbing around down here in the Overflow room, here with random reviews. And we're working on the letter W. And, we're getting through it. We really are. We have 3 W's today. The first is Harry Warren, the Lullaby of Broadway, on Flapper Records. One of the most prolific and professional songwriters of the age, the list of his hit shows, films, and songs is a catalog of tuneful marvels equaled by few others. And here they are. Songs like Pasadena, I Found $1 Million Baby, Lullaby of Broadway, Love Is Where You Find It, You're My Everything, You're Getting to Be a Habit with Me, September in the Rain, Shadow Waltz, Keep Young and Beautiful, Nagasaki, You Must Have Been a Beautiful Baby, With Plenty of Money in You, Jeepers Creepers, Where'd You Get Those Creepers? Listen, I got this because of Jeepers Creepers. Jeepers Creepers is a tune that has basically it's the same theme as Dvorak's Fourth Humoresque for piano, the middle section. It shows what the Tin Pan Alley songwriters owed to Eastern European music, or also what Dvorak, the Eastern European composer, did to innovate, to create that sort of nascent jazz style that was erupting in America. And Harry Warren was one of the great songwriters in that style. So I Only Have Eyes for You with Al Jolson. Oh my. I've got to sing a torch song about 8:45. Lulu's back in town. Remember that one? Whoa. The Man with the Lollipop song, Boulevard of Broken Dreams. She's a Latin from Manhattan by a Waterfall, 42nd Street. Selections from the musical. I get it. It's just really great stuff. So I got this classic songs, and it was Harry Warren, kind of cool. Then we get Walton. I have a lot of Walton. I love Walton. I just think Walton's a marvelous composer. I really do. And this is my Overflow Walton selection. So get ready. Here it comes. We have first, here's one pile. There are 2. This is the smaller of the 2. Beethoven String Quartet, Opus 135, and the Walton Sonata for Strings on Channel Classics with the Amsterdam Sinfonietta under Candida Thompson. This is fun. It's a lot of fun. The Quest Ballet and the Wise Virgins on Naxos. Walton Collected Works. This is a little 2-disc RCA set. The reason to get this is because back in the days when it was hard to find, this had the celebrated Andre Previn LSO Walton 1. You also get the Violin Concerto with Heifetz, the Cello Concerto with Piatigorsky, the Viola Concerto with Yuri Bashmet and Previn, and the Symphony Concertante with Catherine Stott and Vernon Handley. It's really a phenomenal collection if you can still find it. So an RCA, two discs. That's all, just 2 discs. Then we've got, let's see here, so part of the Andrew Litton edition of Walton stuff here. This is the Facade Suites and the Viola Concerto with Paul Neubauer and the Hindemith Variations. Such a gorgeous masterpiece. Absolutely fabulous, fabulous work. Walton conducts Walton, the 1964 New Zealand tour. God Save the Queen, the Violin Concerto, the Partita for Orchestra, Symphony No. 1, and 2 encores from Henry V. This is with the New Zealand Symphony on bridge, and it's not very good. But it's sort of historical, so I hung on to it. The Hollywood String Quartet plays Prokofiev, Hindemith, and Walton, one of their fabulous discs of contemporary works. The Hollywood String Quartet, of course, was Felix Slatkin, Paul Shore, Paul Robin, and Eleanor Auler, the first and last being the parents of Leonard Slatkin. That's on Testament. Then we've got this EMI twofer. It's Bernard Haitnk's incredibly boring performance of the First Symphony. And I think, probably. And we have the Cello Concerto with Tortelier, and the Violin Concerto with Ida Handel, the Second Symphony with Previn, which is very good, the Overtures, Portsmouth Point and Scapino, and the Violin Concerto with Ida Handel. Yeah, okay. Then we've got this IMP Classics thing. This is a really good Belshazzar's Feast with Andre Previn and the Royal Phil. It was much better than his EMI basic recording, the one that we all listened to that Walton hated. Oh, he hated it. He said it was far too slow. Not terribly slow. I don't know what Walton disliked, but this one's more exciting and very well recorded in addition. Let's stuff that in there. And Walton 1 in Belshazzar's Feast, conducted by none other than the Walt himself on EMI. These are all in that Walton edition now. They've all been editioned up since then. The Violin Concerto, the Viola Concerto, the Partita for Orchestra with Yehudi Menuhin doing both violin and viola, and Walton with the Partita conducting, Walton conducting his own stuff. And let's see if I'll be able to jam that in there. I don't know. Walton, Scenes from Henry V, Richard III, and Henry V with Sir Laurence Olivier and Walton himself. And the Spitfire Prelude and Fugue, which is quite marvelous. Yeah, it'll fit. Got it in there. Okay, that fills out a row. I love it. Ashkenazi does Walton Symphonies 1 and 2. When was the last time anyone paid attention to that? Andre Previn, Walton 1. I have like 5 or 6 of these because you can't have too many. It's one of the great recordings of anything. Bernard Herrmann conducts great British film music, including Richard III. I mean, it's only a little bit of Walton in here and a bit of Escape Me Never. The rest is Bliss and Lambert and Bax and people like that. But I wanted to have that because otherwise I would never have it. Facade on Hyperion with Eleanor Braun and Richard Stilgoe, and then Constant Lambert's incidental music to Salome, only 9 minutes and 30 seconds worth, with David Lloyd-Jones and the Nash Ensemble. So let's go there. And that is the little Walton pile. Now, the big Walton pile is this one, the bigger one, and we'll get right through it. What do we have here? Sort of short pieces. Oh, this is all the Charles Groves Walton stuff, which is wonderful. You've got Spitfire, Scapino, Crown Imperial, Orb and Scepter, the Johannesburg Festival Overture, Capriccio Burlesco, Funeral March for Hamlet, Prelude, Richard III, the Shakespeare Suite from Richard III. Did you get that? Nah, it doesn't matter. It's Groves. It's in the Groves box now, the big Groves box. Spitfire. Boy, I've got so many Spitfire Prelude and Fugues. The Sinfonia Concertante and the Intimate Variations. This is a nice disc on Naxos with Peter Donahoe and the English Northern Philharmonia under Paul Daniel. Really pretty first rate. It really is. Walton Piano Quartet and String Quartet with the Maggini Quartet. Peter Donahoe, piano. He didn't write much chamber music, and much of what he did write is really first class, as are these. And the performances are also first class. Excellent. Violin Concerto, Cello Concerto with Dong Suk Kang, violin. Tim Hugh, cello. Paul Daniel. This Paul Daniel series on Naxos is really very good. It really is. And I only stuck it here because it was a series, and I had the Chandos series, under Bryden Thompson, which I had earlier. So that was sitting upstairs. And this one was the upstairs downstairs of Walton stuff. Get it? The upstairs downstairs. Yeah. William Walton, Symphony No. 1, Scapino, and Siesta for Small Orchestra with the Grand Canary Orchestra and Leaper. I got this just because it existed. I collect Walton 1s, always hoping for that mythical, absolutely perfect performance, which I really haven't heard yet, even though there have been some very great ones. Symphony No. 2 in the Viola Concerto, and the Johannesburg Festival Overture with Lars Anders Tomter and Paul Daniel and those people, the Naxos Walton stuff. That really should be in a box. Then we could sit down and reevaluate it all. You know what I mean? It'll give me an excuse to re-listen to everything and then come up with a video. You listening, Naxos? Walton 1 and the Partita with Daniel and those people. The Walton 1 here is not as great as the great ones. It isn't. But it's still pretty good. It's a little soft-edged, you know what I mean? Mildred is here too, so yeah, Mildred is down there. You may get to meet her if she decides to wander into our line of sight, but she probably won't because she's so camera shy. Walton 1, Symphony 1, Symphony 1, Concerto, Walton 2, Viola Concerto, Violin Concerto. This is, what is this? This is on Decca. Okay, this is Decca stuff. with the Bournemouth Symphony and Lytton, I think, in the symphonies. And what's the Previn piece of this? Let me see. The Violin Concerto with Kyung Hwa Chung. There we go. And Previn, that's what it is. The Cello Concerto is Lloyd Webber and Mariner. And the symphonies and the Viola Concerto are all with Andrew Lytton. It's another very good series, you know, a 2-disc set. It gives you all the symphonies and concertos, basically. Well, string concertos, anyway. What's not to love? Oh, yes. The Zell Walton disc. This is so great, but it's in a million Zell boxes now. So, I mean, you know, it can go into the overflow room. This is the one on Essential Classics, Sony Essential Classics. Second Symphony, Intimate Variations, and the Partita for Orchestra, which is, yes, dear, hello. Okay, the Viola Concerto and the Rubra Viola Concerto with Lawrence Power and Ilan Volkov, and the Meditation on a Byzantine Hymn for solo viola. Well, that's interesting. This is on Hyperion with the BBC Scottish Symphony Orchestra. Well, there you go. Who knew? Oh, look, Walton, Symphony No. 1 with Previn. This is the archive music CD repressing, you know, made to order, looking somewhat cheaper thing. After that, they learned how to do them identically and very, very well. But this was an early one, and I grabbed it at the time. It's a print-on-demand thing. Let's see, Walton Cello Concerto, Britten Cello Symphony with Julian Lloyd Webber and Neville Mariner. The Cello Concerto was in that Decca 2 first, but I keep it for the Britten, even though I don't really like the Britten. It's kind of gnarly and ugly. Heifetz, concertos by Walton and Louis Grunberg. This is wonderful for the Louis Grunberg Concerto, which is a wonderful piece. I wonder what happened to that. No one does it. It's with the San Francisco Symphony in Monteux, recorded in 1945. Wow. Sometimes the couplings are really cool. Film music, Hamlet and As You Like It, adapted by Christopher Palmer. Andrew Penny and the RTE Concert Orchestra on Naxos. And we've got, Richard III, Macbeth, and Major Barbara. This is with Mariner, John Gielgud, and the Academy of St. Martin in the Fields. Yes, St. Martin is still in the fields. He hasn't come in yet for a shower. The Battle of Britain. The Battle in the Air, composed by William Walton, music composed and conducted by Ron Goodwin. This is the original MGM score with Walton's bit stuck in. The part of it is by Walton and part of it is by Ron Goodwin. Look at that. Battle in the Air, composed by William Walton. Conducted by Malcolm Arnold. Whoa-ho! That's why I keep it. That's why I have this thing. You guys can sort out which battle we're talking about. Walton won Portsmouth Point with Slatkin and the Philharmonia. The London Phil, pardon me. This is one of the very first releases on Virgin Classics. Hi, sweetie. On Virgin Classics. Really kind of cool. So I always hung into that. And it was wonderful. And this is Walton 1. Ooh, that's the cat. There we go. Walton 1 in Belshazzar's Feast. Simon Rattle. Okay, it's okay, not more than that. But this is good. Here's the Slatkin London Phil Belshazzar's Feast with the Partita and Henry V. This one is slamming, certainly slamming more than rattles slamming. Rattles just rattling while Slatkin is slamming. Rattle rattles and Slatkin slams. Yeah, there we go. Then we've got this. Here's the old Previn, the first Previn Belshazzar's Feast, the one that Walton hated. Portsmouth Point, Scapino, and the improvisations on an impromptu of Benjamin Britten, which is a lovely work that we do not get to hear very often. And Symphonies 1 and 2, last but not least, with Charles Mackerras. Now, this could be totally fabulous. The performances are great. The sonics in number 1, they're just a little soggy at the bottom end. Timpani could be firmer and more vicious, but the performances are just terrific. There you go. And that's Walton. And last but not least, in this little bit of W's, we're going to get Bruno Walter. We have the Great Conductors of the Century series. Bruno Walter's actual music I have floating around somewhere too. I think it's upstairs. But we have his Great Conductors of the 20th Century twofer, Beethoven's Pastoral, Brahms 2, Mozart's Marriage of Figaro, Haydn 92, some Wagner stuff, a bit of Mahler's Kindertotenlieder with Kathleen Ferrier, the Adagietto from Symphony No. 5, and Strauss's Fledermaus Overture from various points. I mean, some of this stuff is really old and historical. And speaking of old and historical, I have this from Haydn to Mahler, 2 discs on Opus Cura, on Japanese and French 78s. And some of them sound quite gnarly. This stuff, oh, this is old. We've got Haydn's Military Symphony from 1938, Mozart German Dances, Strauss Emperor Waltz, 1937, the Siegfried Idyll from 1935, the Mahler Adagietto from 1938, and the appendix doing the Haydn Military Symphony from 1938, 2, 3, 4, yeah, the whole thing. Okay. Yeah, you get to hear the same performance from Japanese and French surviving 78s. And if that really interests you, there's a therapist I can recommend. I kept it. That doesn't mean it interested me. So there you have it, friends. 3 wacky W's from the Overflow room. Keep on listening, and thanks for joining me.